Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your fall 2025 reading. My name is NiJiLL, and you have found alchemy. Okay, so let us see. We are going to be covering 3 months, September, October, and November. And then as the months wear on, like for September, for example, we will re-pull these cards and build a giant reading around it. But right now we're just touching upon it. We're doing your overarching energy for the whole fall up here. And then we're touching upon certain energies that come up each month down here. Okay, so let's get started here, Aquarius. Okay, so starting off the center of your fall here, we have the crystal dumortierite. And what's interesting about dumortierite is this is number 21, by the way. This is considered a quartz by most people. Some people do consider a silica type stone. It does represent the sign of Leo. You may be dealing with a Leo. You may have Leo highly aspected in your chart. Or you may be taking on that energy this fall. But I have to tell you, it's great for calming and all that stuff, but it is really known for its leadership qualities. So, fire signs are known for that. Leo, Aries especially, and Sagittarius. So let's keep that under our hats. Now, like I always tell everybody, it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to go out and get some of this to keep in your pocket. I do not sell it. I'm not trying to sell you anything here, but I am going to tell you that if you do get any kind of precious stone or crystal, make sure to go to someplace very reputable, because sometimes the people who sell online don't even realize they're selling something fake. They get stuff from China, they resell it. It really looks real, and you're not going to be getting any energy from that. So a brick and mortar store is perfect, and if you have an online store that you thoroughly trust, without a shadow of a doubt, that is where you should go. So yeah, for each sign, I think that whatever stone we pull will help you through whatever time we're talking about here, for sure. We do have the blood. This is sanguis, it's blood. It's number 37 in this deck. And this is absolute. I mean, what is blood? This could be blood ties for some of you. But blood is the very essence of our being, right? When we break ourselves down, it is the blood. Blood is the life force. Your life force is on the table. There's something to do with blood. I'm really getting the feeling that there is something to do with blood ties, family ties, that may be on the table here for one reason or another. You have the friendship card, and I like that it's coming in reverse. This is number 14. It says, bring to me friendship true, sharing laughter, understanding too. This is number 14 in this deck, and this has come in reverse. And in my readings anyway, when these particular cards come in reverse, it means that this is not something that you're going to need to try to do. This is going to be just something that happens. So your friends are going to be very important to you this fall. So you have blood ties here on the table. You also have friends, but the friendship part is going to be something that is going to come easily to you. It's not going to be something you need to work towards or something that you're going to have to search for. You're going to find the friendship and the support you need in that way. You have the anxiety card, and it says stress, depression, panic attacks, restlessness. Yeah, real sort of 9 of Swords type energy, right? So that could be part of our fall here. And when I say us, I mean me too, because I am an Aquarian. You have air, and it says seek a union of mind and spirit. As we know, we are air signs, Aquarius. So air is on the table for a reason. This could be, it could represent the time of Libra, right? Which is September, October. That is obviously an air sign as well. And that is in the fall. So we'll keep that under our hats too, the timing of it. Because peeking ahead, and I'm really not supposed to do it, but I see air mentioned again. So it could be a timing thing for Libra. And it also could be where you're going to be using your mind a lot. You're going to be using your mental agility is going to be called for. Your logic, right? The air signs. The sword of truth. You may be searching for truth. You do have Saint Valentine. That's interesting. It says divine love. And this is number 18 in this deck. And see, obviously there are going to be some of you who are born in February, right? His feast date is February 14th. And that is an Aquarian. Definitely Aquarian. And I see roses here in the picture. And when roses come out in my reading, there is hope, right? But what's interesting is you have you have Saint Valentine. He is the patron saint of lovers, and he's associated with that date. All right, we'll keep that where it is, and we'll move over here, and we'll see if we see any connections. I'm really thinking that there is one. Yeah, there is one. Oh, look. Okay, so when we move over to this side here, we have Aquarius in the 11th house. It says collaboration, memberships, networks. So you may be collaborating with someone here, with the Aquarius here in the 11th house. Real like Three of Pentacles type energy going on. There may be a collaboration of sorts, but here we have Psyche, the asteroid, and it says soul, consciousness, and mind. What did we say about air? Very, very mental. But the Psyche is a very, very interesting thing, okay? When we look at the Psyche in Roman mythology, Greek mythology, Psyche was known for her love affair with Cupid. And Cupid is directly related to Saint Valentine for the obvious reasons, right? So there is a connection here. And there's a connection with the month of February. There is also a connection with a relationship that is here on the table as well. Yeah. February. Maybe this reading is meant especially for someone who was born in February. Could be. It could be a situation here that stretches into February. But there is some sort of connection here on the table. There is a connection, okay? Definitely a connection. Let's keep moving on. You have money matters here. And it says money matters a lot now. Watch your expenses and save for the future. You need to be prepared for the unexpected. So make that your focal point here this fall. Really prepare for things. Try not to spend too much money. You do have the number 28 here, and it says, I am a leader. And we know that number 28 breaks down to a number 10, and number 10 is Pluto. And I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but Pluto is in Aquarius, and if you are an Aquarius, chances are there's a 99% chance you already know what that means. And if you don't, I invite you to look it up. But it says, in an effort to accomplish great things, you recognize the value of working with others. You make a capable and compassionate leader. What did we say? Leadership skills. I am a leader. I am a leader. Absolutely. There's some sort of leadership role that you might be. Yeah, there's some sort of anxiety tied to this. And it could just be the timing. Sometimes in a period of growth, we are filled with anxiety. But here you have the sun and you also have air again. So you have spirit doubling down. And you have the sun, which is also, it's Leo's ruling planet, right? So you have the sun. The sun does come out in general and shines a light on everything, exposes everything that's hidden in the shadows. But if you are dealing with a Leo or you have Leo highly aspected in your chart, it is coming out here in your reading. You have air. And everything we said here applies here. Now, like I said, this could very well be a September-October thing, okay? You know, I do have these cards here, right? These are timing cards. And these three cards, I have November, October, and September. Maybe I will pull one of these cards towards the end so we could figure something out. All right. Hopefully I'll remember that. I like that idea. But anyway, you have here a new start is coming, new moon, right? A new moon. Now the new moon in September there was a new moon in Virgo, and that's near around the 21st. The new moon in October is Libra. There you go. And that's around the same time, October 31st. So you have September 21st, October 31st. And then in November, you have the new moon in Scorpio, which is the 20th. So it's around the same time each month here. So around that time, you could expect some action for sure. And if we're looking at that Libra as a timing card, we're really looking at it around the end of October, before Scorpio season. It just looks like that to me. It does look like that to me. Very interesting. So let's start your actual month to month now here. Okay. So let's look at September here. You do have assistance, and remember awakening. So you're going to be awakened. There's going to be some sort of an awakening here for sure. And you're going to be receiving assistance from your spirit guides or from your third eye. There's going to be a nudge from the spirit world here. You're going to be guided. You're going to apparently need guidance. You're being asked to remember something, but you are awakening from something. And I do look at that Pluto energy that we're all suffering under and growing under and doing, it is growth and it is an awakening of sorts for many of us here. So you have here, let me move some of this out of the way. Well, this is nice. So you have the Four of Wands, but you have the Four of Wands here is pure fire energy in this particular deck. There is no astrological association with it. This particular Four of Wands is an expansion card. And if you look at it, it's different, right? It's like an alternate card in this deck. But instead of the typical Four of Wands where you see, people celebrating under a certain, under something, right? It's kind of like the home card, the peace card, the I finished it. It's sort of like a really good positive. This is still very positive, but this is a May dance. And you could see that, right? You can see the people dancing around. We don't see the maypole, but we see it. We see the dancing. We see the happiness. It does look a little confusing, but it looks like it's a positive thing. But man, look at these cards that come with it. Very, very odd. So we have this fire, okay? And we have the Three of Swords, right? The Three of Swords, Saturn in Libra energy. And we know this Three of Swords is generally disappointment, could be pain, right? And there could be a need to cut something loose, to become free again from something. Sort of like there's some sort of an attachment here, emotional or otherwise. It is the end of a draining association. This is represented by the spider. Do you see how interesting this deck is? The spider with the tears and the swords. And one of the tears is breaking a web. Now, what's interesting about this is that spiders, symbolically, right? They've evolved, right? Like everything else on Earth, they have evolved. And even with that evolution, some of them have still failed to distinguish a sticky web from a non-sticky web. And the end result of that, right? The threads in the web, some of them become victim to their own webs, right? And only the ones who learn to distinguish and evolve survive and thrive. So what is it that you have survived here? Or what is it that you're learning? What web did you spin that has become sticky? What web did you have in your life here that maybe was homemade, that almost entrapped you in it, Aquarius? Did you get stuck to your own web in some way? There is a Three of Swords here, but with this Swedish deck, it is a little bit different. What's fascinating is you do have the Emperor coming in reverse. Man, this is such an interesting month because you have this celebration card. You have this assistance card. You have this awakening card. And then you have this, the Three of Swords, the Emperor in reverse. The Emperor in reverse is Aries energy, right? But look how interesting this is. See how different? You see all the rams. You see his staff has a ram. There's a ram over here, but there's other animals here, right? And when you look at this, there's a panda, and the panda represents gentleness. And the lamb here represents innocence. And the ram represents leadership. Leadership is a key freaking word for you. There is some sort of, and Aries is highly prominent here. There could be an Aries that uses their position of power in some way that you just don't like. There could be some fire sign. There is somebody using their position of power here in a negative way. It could be, there is some sort of feeling of powerlessness. That's what it is. Somebody's making you feel powerless, or a situation that's spun from a web is making you feel powerless. Now, look, you have the Nine of Swords. Didn't we talk about that? Nine of Swords energy. Right, that anxiety card. There it is, by the way. So you have this, and look how interesting this depiction of the Nine of Swords is, right? It's a little bit different. It's not someone in bed. This is Mars and Gemini energy, and this is worry, obviously, right? But you have parrots. You have parrots on each of these swords. And parrots are known as the wise teachers. And then you have the yin and yang here, and the yin and yang that's heart-shaped. The yin and yang that's black and red instead of black and white. You have the yin and yang with a little bit of yellow in it. There was something that was out of balance here. For some of you, this was a relationship, or this is a relationship. You needed to learn something. The parrots are wise teachers. You needed to learn something here, Aquarius. But man, this is like a happy home. It's good news. It's assistance, but there's something else. I can't wait to do this reading and really open it up, because what fascinating energy to have all in one month. But here you have the culmination. You have, that makes sense. You have the Eight of Cups coming in sideways. The Eight of Cups is Saturn and Pisces energy. And my cards anyway, when they come in sideways in my readings, this is a decision that you have to make. You're going to decide whether to walk away or whether to stay in a situation. I'm not really sure what this is about. We're not really going to know. I'm trying to refocus this. We're not really going to know until we do the rest of the reading. But I have to tell you, there is a decision that needs to be made. This could be a family blood tie. This could be a relationship you have with someone else. You're going to be receiving assistance from the spirit world to make this decision. You're going to be experiencing an awakening of some kind. Oh man, what fascinating energy here, Aquarius. But you know what's great? When we add this up and we break it down, we get number 10. What did we say? Number 10, Pluto. So there is that Plutonian energy that is moving through our charts. Man, it's here to stay. Get used to it. You're going to have to succumb to the lessons, Aquarius. Don't rail against them. Succumb to them, because if you don't, man, Pluto can steamroll you if you don't. You're better off understanding that it is for your better. It's for your higher good. But you have this, you also have two number 4s here. And when two number 4s come out, it is a solid foundation is being laid for something new to come after that 10. Very, very good, interesting energy. But there is some worry here. There is a feeling of like a lack of control. There could be an imbalance in some way. There could be a parting of the ways. Could be. But there is a decision that you're going to have to make here in September. Now, when we move on to October, there is some sort of detachment. Yeah, see, look. Detaching yourself from something. It is a detachment. So you have that. And you have the 7 of Wands. Now, there are two 7 of Wands in this deck. I'll put up the other one side by side with this one. As you can see, there is absolutely a difference, right, in these depictions. And the 7 of Wands is more fire. You have a lot of fire energy in this reading. But this is more fire energy, and like the 7 of Wands in this particular deck has no astrological association. Yeah, there is what happens after a lot of perseverance, a lot of fighting. I mean, you see this person is actively defending themselves, actively. I'm not going to say they look tired, but yeah, this is an active sort of perseverance. You're persevering in something here, Aquarius, for sure. With these cards, you have the Hanged Man. Interesting. So you have the Hanged Man here. And we know this is Piscean energy. And this is a new perspective for sure. But when you look at this card, there are so many interesting things on it. For instance, we have We have the dragonfly first and foremost, right? You see the dragonfly that is right on top of his body. And the dragonfly is, they have a very unique life. They cycle, and their transition cycle is from water to air. And it reinforces the symbolism of there's some metamorphosis. There is definitely a metamorphosis from water to air. Air is in this reading a lot as well. So perhaps you were in a very emotional state and you're moving on to a very sort of logical, a very logical state. All right. This could have been born from emotion, though, that water, right? You also have the Ankh here hanging with him. I don't know if you see that in the upper right hand corner, and that is the Egyptian symbol of life. And you have the flying fish at the bottom there with the sperm whale. See that? Now, the flying fish, and yeah, I'm going to have to keep refocusing. So sorry. The flying fish they represent overcoming limitations, overcoming something, right? And the sperm whale represents spiritual growth, wisdom, things like that. The ability to navigate deep emotions. There may be something that had you very emotional that is now you've put it in that part of your brain that's logical, and that's it. Okay, if that makes sense. You have here the 10 of Cups. You have the 10 of Cups in reverse. Wow, that's fascinating. Look at that. Beautiful cards, by the way. The Swedish cards. So you have the 10 of Cups. This is Neptune in Pisces energy. So with the 10 of Cups, especially in reverse, you seem to be deciding, there's that Cups energy, that water energy, right? You seem to be deciding that what you thought you wanted no longer serves you. There is something you're making a decision about. There's something that you thought was your 10 of Cups. This could be a job. It could be a relationship. There's something that it could be a blood tie, but there is something that you're breaking away from here. There is something that you're breaking away from. And you have here the 5 of Swords, man. That comes out. That's an interesting card in this deck as well. The symbolism here. Fascinating. Venus and Aquarius energy confronting something very powerful. It's a very powerful card. You have the fish here, which is good fortune. But you have the snake here, which is that transformative energy. You have another parrot, which is that teacher. And you have a cat as well, which is independence, mystery. But all in all, the 5 of Swords is a defensive card. There is something you're being very defensive about. There is something you're defending. Could be defending your peace, Aquarius. There is something that perhaps caused you a lot of anxiety that you are looking to release. But you have here the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. We've got that Jupiter fixed energy. And when it's in reverse, there is an old pattern that you're going to have to break. There is something that may have gone on a long time. And the only way to break free of this is to actually break free of this yourself. Is you're breaking some sort of a pattern. It could be a pattern with a family member. It could be a pattern with a relationship that you're in, a relationship you were in. There is some sort of ongoing thing, that wheel that kept turning, that is now in reverse, because you have the 7 of Wands, and in this particular depiction was very defensive. You also have the 5 of Swords, very defensive. You have the 10 of Cups in reverse. No, you don't want it anymore. And you also have that Hanged Man energy, new perspective. You're seeing something very different. You are. When we add this up and we break it down, it is Saturn energy. And that is one of your ruling planets. You in Capricorn, you have it is perseverance. It is perseverance. It's hard work. It's lessons learned, for sure. The great teacher. You have 2 number 10s here. Significant transformation, significant transition period for you here in October. Wow. Heavy fall. It looks like it is digging. it is digging out a certain piece of land so something really important can go on top of it. And I don't know why I just said that, but there is something really important that is happening from this moment in time that it needs to happen. Just needs to happen here. But you are absolutely detaching from something. Now, let's move on to November. I can't wait to expand this. Like, I don't know if you've watched my readings, but I take these back out and I expand to a reading this size for just that month. So try to tune in for that. You do have here the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is pure earth energy in this deck, nothing else. And what is it? Look, I mean, he's working on it, right? And what's interesting is this card, like these big cards, I do not take them in reverse, but I take note of them when they come in reverse. And this particular card did come in reverse. So it is something that you may have wanted to stop working on, or something that may have crossed your mind to, you know what, I'm done with this. It could be a goal that you had, could be a job that you have, could be something that you were working hard at that you decide to keep working on. This is self-development. It could be studying. It could be upgrading in some way. Basically, this is an indication to keep going. But I think you got it, right? Because it came in reverse and now it's upright. So let's look at this here. You have the Seven of Cups in reverse. Wow. And you have this this interesting Sphinx with wings. Look at that. So here you have the Seven of Cups, Venus and Scorpio energy, right? And this is in reverse. A need for clarity and non-magical thinking. There is a need for logic. That's why all this air energy is here, Aquarius. There is a need for logic and not magical thinking. There is a place for spirituality. There is a place for emotions. This fall is not that time. This fall is for non-magical thinking, that just doing what you need to do, the hard work that needs to happen, right? The black and white stuff, the 1 + 1 = 2. Okay. So that is the card of like sort of non-magical thinking. The Sphinx with wings is a creature with a dual nature, protection and danger, but it's in reverse, right? Nothing philosophical here. It's time to just go on facts. What are the facts? What do I need to do? Write a list. This is what I have to accomplish. You have here the Knight of Cups, and this normally is Neptune and Pisces energy, but in this deck, it's obviously Scorpio. Do you see the scorpion attached to that cup? And so you have an opportunity here, and there is a female centaur. They call it a centauress. So it's sort of like an untamed nature, very feminine energy. You could be a woman. If you're not, you are definitely someone that is leaning on their divine feminine. What is that? That's someone who tends to think with their heart. It's time to think logically. It is time to think logically. But you are going to be presented with something here, all right? You also have the Scorpion. And what is the Scorpion holding this cup? Pluto. Scorpio's ruling planet is Pluto, and Pluto is coming out a lot in this reading. Again, Aquarius, again. So you have the Knight of Cups here. You have the Scorpion, which is that transformation, right? You have, it is in the upright, right? There could be some sort of offer here on the table. You're working on something. Let's keep going before I have any opinion about this, because look, you have the Star, and this is your card. This is the card of Aquarius, and look how beautiful it is in this deck. What a beautiful card. Wow, look at the frogs. And you have the solar system and of course the Star, but you have a woman, more female energy, who is encased in a bear suit, right? And that is, the woman in the bear suit is sort of a feminine power and protection thing. It is like you're wearing a different skin. Like you're wearing that strength. It is a strength. It is very, very strong energy. And you have the frog, which is fertility. So you are ripe with fertility. Does that mean, you know, you're fertile? It could mean you're fertile, but I really believe this has something to do with goals. It has something to do with your life. It has something to do with something that you have to move past. It is something that is absolutely, look at this. I really hope you could see how pretty this card is. Yeah, there's a certain kind of strength. Maybe this offer is a good thing. It looks like a good thing, Aquarius. It really does. Because look, you have the card of nurture, compassion, right? But what's fascinating is you have that, right? But you also have the Two of Cups in reverse. The Two of Cups in reverse is Venus and Cancer energy, and it is sort of like a parting of the ways. Could be a parting of the ways in a family. Could be a parting of the ways in a relationship. Could be two parts of you, you know? That is an obscure meaning to this card. But I have to tell you, there is the Two of Cups in reverse here. But man, look at all these other cards that are good. How fascinating this reading is going to be when I pull each month. I mean, seriously. Of course I do Aquarius first. I'm an Aquarian and I need to see the readings because I just feel like that way about it. So I will be doing your reading first each month. So yes, you have this, you do have the Seven of Cups, a need for logic. You do have this Knight of Cups, somebody coming and offering you something. Could be a new job, could be it could be anything. It literally could be anything. I don't want to limit you right now, Aquarius, but you have the Star. I mean, when that comes out in an Aquarius reading, that is your internal compass kicking in. It's a blessing. It is renewed hope. It is a power position for you, especially with that skin. You have a different skin right now. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Neptune and Pisces energy. Man, what is that? It's magical thinking. Is what it is, right? The release of, you're going to be releasing a certain type of confusing energy, magical thinking that may have had you in its web. It looks like you also have two number 8s here. It's almost it's nearing the end. It is nearing the end, okay? The end of what? I don't know, but it's nearing the end of something good. I think usually when you're approaching 8, 9, 10, it is something positive, right? It could be a difficult road, that 8, 9, 10, but generally speaking, after the 10 is something, you've accomplished something, okay? So this looks like a very interesting fall. It really does, definitely. Yeah, so I'm gonna pull those 3 cards instead of, see, I know there's only 3 cards. I want to know which month is going to be the most pivotal month, the most important month for Aquarius spirit. Which month will be the most eye-opening, important month for Aquarius this fall? September. And you know what? That makes sense. Do you remember September? The 3 of Swords and the 9 of Swords and I mean, yeah. The Emperor in reverse. We talked about this. Remember, awakening, assistance, spirit guides, making this decision. September is going to be very, very important to you. Let's do your numerology. Now, when we add all the numbers in this reading up and we break it down, we get Pluto. Boom, number 10. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Amazing, though. Pretty interesting. The number that came out the most in this reading, number 10. Gonna be that kind of fall, Aquarius, okay? That kind of fall. Now, as far as planets go, there was not one planet that came out more than the other. There really wasn't. But as far as signs go, Scorpio, which is what? Pluto. Man, Pluto. So the signs that came out here were Taurus, Leo, Capricorn, Aries, Libra, Gemini, Cancer, Aquarius, Pisces, and Scorpio, but Scorpio leading the pack as important. Now, this could mean, for some of you, Scorpio season, could be, but I don't think so. I think this is Pluto. I think this is Pluto, Aquarius. Fascinating, and I will see you each month. Namaste.